Is it going to be third time lucky for Theresa May?
The ayes have it. Unlock.
Or maybe if it's not fourth time lucky. The Prime Minister is certainly showing every sign of being a one-trick pony. She's got the deal she thinks will do. She's going to keep presenting it to the House of Commons until she gets it through or until someone stops her from doing so. You might think that having lost her deal twice in two almost record parliamentary defeats, that the Prime Minister might have given up the ghost, but she still thinks she's in with a shot. And what's clear is that a lot of Tory hardliners are beginning to crumble. The question is whether it's enough of them. Up until now, the Prime Minister has operated what you might call a double scare strategy. She tried to scare her Brexit hardliners into thinking they could lose Brexit, and at the same time scare the Remainers and soft Brexiters into thinking that if they don't back her deal, they could end up with a no-deal Brexit, which is their absolute nightmare outcome. What's changed this week is that one leg of that double scare strategy has been kicked away, because most MPs no longer believe they face a real threat of a no-deal Brexit. That means all the Labour MPs who feared the chaos of a no-deal, the handful of Conservative Remainers and all the others have less incentive to back her deal. That ought to scare all the hardliners into jumping on board, but there's no guarantee just yet that they're ready to do so. So if Mrs May can't get her deal through, what might happen? Well, the answer is we could be heading for a very long extension of this process. Brexit could be delayed not just by a few weeks, but by a year and a half, while Britain is given the time to work out what it wants. The danger is that, freed of any imminent deadline, MPs will repeat the process of the last 2 years, arguing about their pet projects rather than trying to come together over any one plan for Brexit. There are so many ways an extended process could go wrong. The Tories could replace Theresa May and put in a harder Brexiter. We could find that as the Brexit being pursued by the House of Commons becomes softer and softer, that actually the calls for a second referendum start to come from the hardliners. Or Parliament could just completely revert to stasis because there is no majority for any single position within Parliament. What is clear, however, is that we are in the end game of this stage of Brexit. Either the Prime Minister gets her deal through in the next week or two, or a whole different vision of Brexit is going to be before the country.